Good afternoon. You're listening to KALA This Week on KALA FM with the latest news and sports from St. Ambrose University. I'm Haley Gibbs.
And I'm Sophie Foreman. To kick off the 2015 fall semester, freshmen helped out the community during the annual Urban Plunge, an event that Dan Tomlin, the SAU track coach, says it's not only a learning experience, but also an opportunity.
The first day that they're on campus, get into the community, learn about the community, and do some service work for the neighborhood.
Service work that Tomlin says makes him feel at home.
It really makes you feel good, and you start to realize where St. Ambrose's place in the community is and what our purpose is, and service is a major part of that.
Urban Plunge isn't the only way St. Ambrose has branched out into the community this year. A new admissions and welcome center now sits on the corner of Locust and Harrison Street, former home of the Eye Care Pavilion, a spot that Mike Poster, Vice President of Finance, says the school has had their eye on for quite some time.
We've been in contact with the eye care doctors for a number of years and always inquiring about when, or if they were willing to sell the property to us. And generally they had said that they were not. So we were kind of surprised when they actually contacted us and said that they were ready to move. But I think they wanted to move.
This acquisition consisted of the building, the house next to it, and all the parking each building had. They then demolished the house, put in more parking spaces, and renovated the entire building to create the St. Ambrose atmosphere they wanted.
So in total, we got about 50 parking spots plus the building. And so the cost of the acquisition plus the renovation was around $3.2 million.
A project that has now given St. Ambrose its very own welcome mat, something Associate Director of Admissions Hillary Callis says she is very happy about.
I heard recently someone, and forgive me because I don't remember who said it, but they had mentioned the fact that St. Ambrose never really had a front door before, and that this was the new front door to our university. And so I think that is spectacular that we have a place where we can really note people are having their first impression of the university and where they're first setting foot on campus, and we have that now with the Admissions and Welcome Center.
The first blood drive of the year was August 31st in the Rogowski Center Ballroom, and donation relations consultant Anna Oliver says there was a great turnout.
We originally had this goal set at only collecting 45 units, but because we had such a tremendous amount of response and people signing up, we ended up with 90 people on the schedule, so we had to bring more mobile staff and more equipment to be able to see all of those donors, which is huge.
This is the first of 3 here at St. Ambrose University, and Oliver says she loves seeing repeat donors.
We don't want to have just first-time donors, we want to have lifetime donors. So we can't pay anybody to donate, we can't give them anything, it has to be strictly volunteer, so it's huge that there's so many students that are willing to give here.
And now to catch up on sports. Last Tuesday, September 1st, was the first cross-country meet of the season for St. Ambrose. It was held at Crow Creek Park, and it was a successful one. Despite the hot and humid conditions, the men's team won the overall event and ran in a pack, causing the top 5 men to finish just 40 seconds apart. For the women, newcomer Karen Paisley won the gold, and all 5 SAU scorers ran into the top 10. St. Ambrose finished with 31 points, just 7 points behind champion Augustana. The next meet for both teams is the Midwest Classic at Aspen Golf Ridge Golf Course in Burbanus, Illinois. This course will also be the site of the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference Championships in November.
The women's soccer team started off their season strong, with their first game a win, but their record fell short after their first tournament of the year. The Queen Bees lost to Ashford University by 1 point in overtime. They then played Missouri Valley Sunday, where they lost 0-2. This leaves the Queen Bees with a record of 1-2. Their next game is in Des Moines, Iowa, against former conference rival Grandview.
That's all we have for you today on this edition of KALA This Week.
For more information, visit our KALA Facebook page. Thanks for listening.